D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I watched Superman and Lois episode 9, and I'm telling you guys right now, this show is so good. Like, I really like this show. It's the best CW show, which I know is not like hard because they've got crap like Batwoman and stuff, and Supergirl's not good, and The Flash, in my opinion, is not that great this season. But I really like this show a lot. I think that this is it's so good. Especially this episode. The ending, I'm just like, what? And then there was another reveal that was pretty great. So basically, okay, we'll get into the episode and my review and stuff and the breakdown and everything. But I just have to say, like, I really I understand, like, kind of, I understand where they're going with this season. And I really hope that they can keep up the momentum of, just how good this show is. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. It's just a really good show. So why don't we go ahead and get started on the breakdown portion of it, because that's where I'll add in my thoughts and everything. So we start off with this Leslie lady is leading somebody through the office, and she leads them into Morgan Edge's office, and he sits down with them or whatnot. And we don't know who it is, but we find out who it is later. But then Lois and I don't remember the other woman that works at the Gazette, but they are trying to piece everything together because Lois is like, why is he picking Smallville? These other places he was there and packed up and left. And they're trying to figure out why Smallville he's sticking around. It's not just the ex-kryptonite. There's got to be something else that he's sticking around for. And so while they're trying to figure that out, she's Lois is all like, if I go to somebody, then if I go to, a certain group of people, then they won't believe me, kind of thing. So then we're back at the house, and she's all talking to this one. She's like, we need to use our resources and everything. We've got Clark, who is a really great reporter also, so he can help us out there. And plus he's not doing anything because he's not coaching or, working as a reporter. And Lana, she steals some files from Morgan Edge from the company and everything. And she gives them the files on all the people, and they see the file on Emily, and she's a big part of this. And so they're trying to piece it all together. So then we go back to where he brought somebody into the office and everything. And there's a reveal about this later on. But so he's talking to Emily, and he's basically like, you worry about stuff, and it goes to her. She's got overdue bills, and she's just worrying about her daughter and how she's going to pay the mortgage and how she's going to pay all her bills and everything. And she's just really worried about it. And he's all like, I can get rid of your suffering. Do you want to be your best self? And she's all, she decides to do it. And she goes through the process where they take the ex-kryptonite and they take Kryptonian psyches and implant them into human bodies. And she's all like, and Leslie, she's all like, is it going to hurt? And she's all like, and Leslie's remembering hers and it hurt. And she's like, no, you're not going to feel a thing, kind of thing. And then she gets done and the transfer was successful. And she's all like, and then this, she does a puberty changing voice. She's like, you have done well and everything. And I'm all like, oh, if I could have got that voice at puberty, that would have been great. So, and it keeps going back to like, she's already made her choice and everything, but he goes like, do you want to be your best self and everything? And then so we hop over to the camp farm, and she's trying to talk to him, and she's all like, hey, they have a meeting with Emily and these other people that are a part of this group. They meet at the diner. She's like, she's like, you can talk to these people. I can't talk to these people. You're Clark Kent, Martha Kent was helping these people out long before Morgan Edge came to this town. And if you remember from episode 1, everybody talked about Lana had talked about how Martha had, like mortgaged the land or whatnot so she could give money to people to help them out, to help them survive. And so the boys get their lunch, and Jordan's all like, I'm going to help Sarah out, play the piano for her, the talent show and everything. And they're all like, is she, are you guys just friends, or are you guys, and he's all like, for now, we're friends. And I liked I like Lois's line because she's all like, hey, listen, she's like, maybe that is for right now, but maybe she'll tell you how she really feels later. You just gotta wait for her and everything, which I thought was good advice. It's very obvious that Sarah likes Jordan, but I don't know why she's waiting. But hey, sometimes you don't want to rush into things, and I don't judge people on their relationship. So then these two, she goes back to the Gazette and she's talking to Lana and she's all like, we just need to find out what's going on, kind of thing. And Lana's like, I don't see anything, suspicious and everything, but I'll, keep my eyes open, kind of thing. But she does tell them about how they go to this diner and they have breakfast every morning. And she's all like, I can go. And she's like, no, we'll send Clark, kind of thing, because he can get it done. But then back at the school, Sarah's dad, I can't remember their last name. It's like starts with an E. It's like Estridge or something like that. I don't remember. It doesn't even matter. I like Jonathan's face right there. Anyways, so he's all like, hey, thanks for really stepping up and helping Sarah out with that audition. I couldn't be there, kind of thing, but I really appreciate it. And he's like, yeah, no big deal and everything. Since Sarah gets out and she's like, all right, bye, Dad. And then Jonathan's looking over that Tegan chick, and Sarah's like, yo, don't mess around with the Tegan. She's no good. I don't know why she's no good. She turns him down later, but we'll get to that. But so then back at the diner, he runs into Emily and she's like, Clark. And he's like, Emily and everything. And he's all like, what's going on over at the edge? And she's like, oh, you're looking for work? And he's like, yeah, kind of thing. He's trying to sniff out what's going on and everything. And she doesn't give him really anything. But he's like, and she's like, this is the best I've ever felt. I feel like a completely new person. So then he hears something. It's a robbery taking place in Mexico. So he flies over to Mexico, bursts through the door. But when he gets there, he's like, and he's like breathing weird because you'll find out later it's because of that gas that he breathed in the following episode. So then he's taking out these bank robbers. It was very cool. I liked it a lot. And then he's still breathing weird, kind of thing. So then, but then they shoot him with a shotgun. And he gets knocked out. So he gets knocked out from this blast and everything. And then the robbers all like shooting him like hardcore with like a bunch of bullets and everything. And then the other guy's like, get the money. And the other guy comes, but then Clark flies up and then he turns around and then he like blasts him. And then this guard's like, are you okay? And he's like, I'll be fine and everything. And so then he flies back home. Lois comes into the Gazette and Morgan Edge is taking out an ad in the Gazette to get more people to come into this program. And she's like, I'm not having it. She's like, I'm going to go cause a scene. So she walks into Morgan Edge's office. She's like, you people can't do this. He is going to, ruin your lives, kind of thing. I can't remember exactly what she said. And he's all like, can I have a moment with Miss Lane? And she's like, I know what you're doing. She's like, you are taking Kryptonite X, you're transferring Kryptonian psyches into human beings, and I'm not gonna let you get away with this. He's like, even if you did have proof, that sounds crazy. And he's like, but you don't have proof, and even under your criticisms, this story would fall apart, which was totally true. And he's all like, and she's like, you can't do this to these people. Have lives, they have dreams, they have families and everything. And she's like, basically like, I won't let you get away with this, kind of thing. And so she ends up leaving. And then back at school, Jonathan, Tegan's all like, oh, you figured out your locker? And he's like, yeah, I just followed your advice, anger never leads to anything or whatnot. And then he catches up with her and he's like, hey, I just was wondering if you wanted to hang out after school sometime. And she's all like, no, I'm not interested, kind of thing. And she's like, I'm sorry. He's like, we were giving each other the eyeball. And she's all like, yeah, but no, and everything. And she's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, no, it's no big deal and everything. And even the coach totally inappropriate for an adult to be, he was like, got to work on that game, got to close that deal. And I'm all like, listen, coach, you are an adult talking to a freshman in high school. So he's like, what, 14? Inappropriate. Okay. So then Lois gets home and she sees that Superman is not only jacked, but he is also bullet ridden and he's got bruises. And she's all like, Superman doesn't bruise, kind of thing. Then back at school, Jordan and Sarah are practicing for the talent show. And she's like, I really thank you for putting so much work into this. He's like, no big deal. I want to be here. And, they're giving themselves the goo goo eyes. And he sneezes. And when he sneezes, he freezes his hand. And so he's got to get out of there because something's going on and everything. And she's all like, Jordan, you don't have to leave and everything. So he calls his dad. His dad gets there and he's like, something's wrong. And he freezes his hand again when he sneezes. And he goes back to the house. He's really sick. And it's because of that gas that Clark breathed in last episode that the DOD was creating or whatnot, and he transferred it to Jordan. So then they call, and he's all like, well, how long do you stay sick when you get sick? And Lois is like, Superman, your dad has never been sick before in a day in his life. So they call over General Lane. And he's all like, I got to get back to school and everything. And he sneezes and they're like, you're not going anywhere kind of thing. And he's all like, I got my best. And the dad comes in. He's like, I got my best guys working on it. And she's like, you got your best guys working on it. My son is sick right now from a thing that you created to stop my husband. I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember exactly what she said. And then back at school, Sarah it's all like, hey, yo, where's your brother? Because I'm like the first person to sing and he's playing my piano, fool. And he's all like, she's like, he just ran out of here. He's like, well, I'll go find out what's going on. If he left, it was for a good reason kind of thing. Then back at the Morgan Edge's office, Emily and Lana run into each other and she's like, hey, Emily, what exactly goes on? And she's like, I'm like a whole nother person. And she almost tells her exactly what's going down. But then Leslie stops her and was all like, hey, Miss Morgan Edge would like to talk to you. And she comes in, and he offers her the same thing. He's like, do you want to be your best self? So he's offering to turn her into a Kryptonian. And, it looks like she's thinking about it here. She turns him down. Just let you know. So then back at the Ken farm, he's freezing everything because he's getting his ice breath or whatnot. And Clark is like, we cannot wait for your dad and the scientists to figure it out. I have to take him to the Fortress of Solitude. So he flies him off to the Fortress of Solitude. And he's all like, where's he going? And he's all like, to do what you can't do. And then she's like, you always put your job before your family. She's all like, and I understand that that's where your heart is. She's like, when this is all said and done, you are not allowed back at this house. Do not come back. I don't want to see you anymore, yada, 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 which is kind of harsh because, her dad, I mean, I'm on his side. Yes, his grandson got hurt, but he's trying to protect the human population from a possible attack from Superman. Batman did the same thing in the Tower of Babel. He created stuff to stop every single Justice League member. So I don't think that this is bad on General Lane. But she tells him not to come back. And I understand also from a parent standpoint, she's all like, you hurt my kid because you don't trust my husband. This is my family kind of thing. And so I understand where she's coming from. So he brings Jordan to the Fortress of Solitude, puts him in this. I don't like this Fortress of Solitude. I don't think it looks very cool, but whatever. I get it. Budget. And, if I can get Superman fighting in some really cool scenes and all that stuff and laser vision, all that stuff, I'll give up the Fortress of Solitude. I'll be happy to give it up. So then he asks the Fortress of Solitude, he's sick. And they're like, yeah, because the kryptonite is in his system. He's turning that water into ice. It's filling up his lungs with water because he's having respiratory failure. It's filling his lungs up with the water, and he's turning it into ice because of the ice breath or whatnot. And they're like, we can get it out, but it's going to be through heat, extensive heat. It's going to hurt kind of thing. And so then he's all like, Dad, he's like, I'm scared. He's like, I'm right here with you kind of thing. And it's these lasers start because what they're going to have to do is they have to burn out the kryptonite from him. Like it's like a gas. So they have to burn it out kind of thing. So these start and everything. And then Lois is trying to think. And then Jonathan comes in and she's all like, I can't protect my family. And she's feeling the same thing that every parent, you just want to protect your kids and she can't do it. And he's all like, hey, we're a super family. It's always going to be like this kind of thing. So then back at the talent show, the Lane show, or the Lane, Lana Lane. Yeah. Lana Lane shows up And she's sitting with Emily. Sarah goes up there to sing, and Jordan's not there because he's got his problems, kind of thing. So she's like, I can't do this. And then the dad steps up and he plays guitar off to the side, and she sings, and she does a great job. She's got a beautiful voice. If this is really her singing, she's got a great voice. She's really good. So then she gets off and she like hugs her dad and everything. And then Jonathan is talking to his grandpa, and he's all like, he's basically saying like, you gave up on the family. Like, you didn't trust my dad. You gave up on him. Because of that, my brother is hurt. He's like, you're a coward, kind of thing. He's all like, no matter what, I would always stand by my family, kind of thing. And I bet that hurt him because I feel like Jonathan's his favorite grandson, kind of thing, which I feel bad. But I feel bad for General Lane because I get where he's coming from. But, whatever. So then Emily's daughter is singing, and they're sitting there watching. And in the middle of it, Emily, like, she just goes like she goes stiff and everything. And she gets up and she leaves. And Lana's all like, where are you going? Your daughter's not done. She's like, I'll be right back, and everything. Then her husband, whatever his name is, I can't remember off the top of my head. He's all like, oh, let me go see what's going on. So then Edge is in his office, and Leslie comes in and she shows him a paper from Mexico that says that Superman had trouble taking down this heist. She's like, he's weak. Let's go kill him, kind of thing. And he's all like, no, I've already taken care of it. We're going to go after the people that he loves, that he protects, aka Lois. So then back at the thing, he's like, you're almost done, kind of thing. And he's like, it's out, and everything. So then General Lane is at the Kent farm, and he sees two people go up to the door. One of them is Emily. And he's on the DOD, and he's like, no, I haven't tried the test model or whatever, the prototype. So then these two are sitting here talking, and he's all like, we can't use the little clicky because they won't hear in the Fortress of Solitude. It's called the Fortress of Solitude for a reason. She's like, we just have to be patient. She gets a call from Lana, and Lana's all like, hey, Emily just left. She was acting weird, kind of thing. She left in front of her daughter's performance, and her daughter is everything to her. It's really weird. And Emily, and then Jonathan's all like, hey, I think it's for you. And Emily shows up with this bald dude. And she's all like, she shouldn't have called, kind of thing. And she does it in that, she shouldn't have called, and everything. And so Lana goes to grab the Superman thing, and she grabs it, and she's like, I don't remember what she says here or whatnot. But then they get all red-eyed and everything. But then General Lane comes in, and he shoots him with the kryptonite gas canister thing. They go run to the barn, and Jonathan gets out his gun that he stole from Irons. And then Daddy Lane shows up. I can't remember his name, Chris or something. So General Lane is beating these two up and everything. And he gets knocked out by Emily. So then back at the Fortress of Solitude, Clark breaks down and he starts crying because he's all like, I could have lost you, and, it would, it's kind of my fault, because I'm Superman and all this stuff. So then back at the barn, the two, Emily and this guy, show up, and they get ready to kill him, but he shoots him with the gun and blasts him through the wall. And then this guy, Chris, he goes to grab him because he's got powers. And so he's like, I was told to kill you, Lois, but he's like, but he wants you to suffer first. So he goes to kill John first, but then Superman shows up and knocks him through the wall. And then the DOD shows up, and they're trying to get everything under control. And they're like, we're not leaving. We're staying right here in Smallville. And so Lois I can't remember what they say here, but he's all like, yeah, I always was, the job, but I'm proud of you or something. I don't remember what he says there. So then these two are talking, and he's all like, so you got the ice breath forever now? He's like, yeah, and everything. And he's like, yeah, I don't remember what he says here either. I can't remember, but he gets that face. I'm pretty sure he's jealous. I'd be jealous of somebody with powers and everything. So then this guy goes home, and Lois is all like, where were you? You look, and he's like, I don't know. And they're like, are you drunk? And he's like, no. He's like, I went into Morgan Edge, and he offered me that deal. And I did the thing. And then tonight I blacked out, and then I ended up in a cornfield and my ribs hurt, kind of thing. So then Jess, I think this girl's name is Jess. She calls Lois. She's like, "Hey, I figured out what the connection is." The guy played by Colossus, the guy Daniel Cudmore, he was in like episode 2 or 3. He was originally from Smallville, and Leslie, his assistant, is originally from Smallville. But the guy in episode like 3 or 4, I can't remember all the episodes, but the guy that blew up and he was like, "I'm not myself," that guy was not from Smallville. So she's like, all these people are from Smallville. And that's what Lois says. She's like, people are from Smallville. They've been the meteor shower happened, but you landed in Smallville. So therefore, these people have had the longest time around this X kryptonite. So their bodies have been able to adjust to it, kind of thing. So they're the perfect specimens to switch over to Kryptonians. And that's what he wants. He doesn't want necessarily the Kryptonian X. He wants the Smallville people so he can switch over to Kryptonians. And that's when Clark gets the call from Lois's little tracker thing, and he's all like, he's calling me, I'm getting called by your tracker. And she's like, go. So then he flies and he lands, and there's Morgan Edge, and he's got on some Kryptonian digs, you guys, and he's all like, I can't remember what he says first, but then Clark goes to fly to him and knock him out, but then he knocks Clark out. Not out, but he knocks him over or whatever. And he's like, "What, did you think I'd give people powers and not have powers myself? What are you, like, do you big dumb?" And he's all like, "Who are you?" kind of thing. And he's all like, he's like, "How do you have powers or whatnot?" I can't remember exactly what he says. He's like, "But I got them the same time you did, Clark, when I landed here on Earth." And he's like, "What?" and everything. He's like, "It's time for me to talk to you about where you come from," or something like that. It's time for me to like talk to you about where you come from or something like that. I can't remember what he says. And then he goes, "Brother." And I was like, "Oh, what?" I don't think he's his brother, but that's a great shot right there. I love that shot. I don't think it's his brother, but I do think when he said brother, he meant like fellow Kryptonian. I don't think this is a Zod. I saw something online about people saying it was Zod, and I don't, because I think this is connected to the Arrowverse, maybe just slightly. I don't know. But in the Arrowverse, he did kill Zod. They mentioned it in Supergirl before. So I don't think this is Zod, but it'll be interesting to see who this is. But overall, this is the best episode. I love this turn of events, that this is not Morgan Edge, like the Morgan Edge we know from the comic books. It's actually a different character. I love this shot so much. It's so good. But I really like it. This episode was so good. I cannot wait till next week. I cannot wait to see where this story goes. I just love everything about this show. I'm so happy that they made it. Yeah, it's just so good. It's so good. I'm happy that at least one CW show, one of their superhero shows, is good, because the rest of them suck. But this one is definitely, it's so good. I can't handle how good it is. So that is my breakdown and review of this. I love this episode. Tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like, who do you think that Morgan Edge really is? We have to call him Morgan Edge because I don't know who he is. But who do you think he really is from Krypton? Like, do you think he was a baby also? Do you think he was older? Because he looks older than Clark. So he's like he was a toddler. I don't know. But what Kryptonian do you think he is? And do you think he'll succeed? He won't succeed. It's a TV show and everything. It's the good guy has to win. But go ahead and tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Is this your favorite episode of the season so far? Who's your favorite character? All that good stuff. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next Superman and Lois review. You guys have a good day. Bye.